Today we turn to a man who scored goals for Manchester United, Aston Villa, Blackburn and more. It is, of course, Dwight Yorke. Good afternoon, Dwight.
Hello, Dwight.
Good afternoon, boys. How you doing?
Yeah, good,
we're
thank
not
you.
too bad, thank you. We had a few problems with your line. While we were trying to get you back, I was saying to Charlie that you started life on the wing, didn't you? Not through the middle.
No, yeah. I came through the school of learning and playing in different positions when you play anywhere to get in the team at that time. So I was a young boy learning the trade. Usually, traditionally, the English way of playing was a 4-4-2. Get the ball down the wing, get it in the box. If you can dribble and take someone on in the wing and then cross it into the box, that's something I could have done. What I could have do when I was much younger. So that's the position I started off playing.
And was it Graham Taylor who moved you into the middle?
No, I didn't really spend a lot of time with Graham Taylor. When I sort of came to England, Graham Taylor then become England manager. And then, I had to learn very quickly. The person who was responsible for me ended up leaving me all on my own after a year or so. So I having to find my feet for myself.
Can you remember the first Premier League goal, Dwight?
No, I have no idea. I really don't, and that's a genuine. I remember making my debut against Crystal Palace away. I came on. Those days was only 3 subs, 2 substitution and a goalkeeper. I think it was. So it was 3 in total. So I came on at Crystal Palace away.
We think that's right. We think it was that one. It's funny how different strikers. We spoke to Darren Bent yesterday, and Benty, I think, can almost remember them all. He certainly remembers the first, and remembers the 100th. He can see him in his mind eyes. Yeah. I think when it came off his knee, his first goal. But it's interesting. I mean, different strikers different people are different. You know, some people will remember them. And others it was just another goal of many. So
I mean, I of course always remember your partnership with Andy Cole from Man United. Was he your favourite person to play alongside, or do you have other players that you preferred playing with?
No, I had to, before I get to that level at Man United, I had to learn the trade of playing through the middle. And I got sort of the freedom to play under Brian Little in many respects. I was learning the trade under Ron Atkinson.
Yeah.
There were senior players ahead of me. Dean Saunders was one of them. And Dalian Atkinson, the late Dalian Atkinson, Cyril Regis, the late Cyril Regis. So I was learning the trade with all these guys ahead of me. So, the time I spent at Villa, one by one, I had to kind of make my way through to becoming the top man. But I was very lucky that I was blessed with those type of players in and around me, so I can learn my trade then. And then obviously from moving from the wide areas into then the middle. And after Ron Atkinson, then Brian Little came in and sort of gave me the freedom to just go and play the way I was able to play at Villa.
Was there a Premier League player, a Premier League sort of defender that you never looked forward to coming up against?
Yeah, I think when I was much younger, there was some, when I was playing on the wing, I remember Stuart Pearce was the one. He was horrible to play against. He just used to kick the lumps out of me every time and, bombing forward and scoring. So he used to try and intimidate me in many respects over the years. But I was still a young man. I wasn't really, quite to get to grips with the Premier League, so to speak. And I think Colin Hendry was another one. Des Walker, those type of players were really tough kind of players to play against. But there were a period in my career where I'm just maybe about 22, 23. I thought enough is enough, and then sort of start taking on the big boys, so to speak.
The 100th goal, you probably don't remember it based on the fact you don't remember the first. It came in a 3-0 victory over Derby County in November 2000.
Oh, nice.
Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I remember that because I had a shirt on wearing it. I was told before. I was told about it, and then that's when I had a t-shirt. I had a t-shirt underneath saying 100 Premier League goals.
Right.
So I remember that, but I don't remember the first one. And I know it was against Derby because I've always scored against Derby. It was one of my favorite teams to score against, Derby and Coventry. So, there's just some teams that you always score against. So Derby and Coventry. So I knew I was likely to get that goal, my 100 goal against Derby when we played them that time.
Yeah. A couple of questions. One of your old clubs, Manchester United. What about the start Rasmus Højlund has made? What have you made of him, Dwight? Are you optimistic he's going to sort of train on and do well in the future for United?
Yeah, optimistic is probably the correct word at this point in time. I'm very pleased that he's managed to get a few goals towards the end. I often think when you go at United and you get off to a very bad start, which he did, and he really struggled earlier on, you just think that was never going to be something he's going to return. He's young, he's 20 years. He's playing in a team that is struggling, inconsistency about the team at the moment. So very difficult circumstances for him to come into with such a high price tag, relatively unknown, didn't know anything about him until he came to United. So there's a lot there to ask of a young man to come into. But with a bit of perseverance, he's showing some signs. I still not think he's convincing enough for me at the moment, but I'm happy for the fact that he's got 9 goals so far.
England going to have to make a choice probably between Tony and Watkins as backup for Kane. So, obviously, you've seen a fair bit of both of them, I'm guessing. So, if only one of them made the plane, who is it for you, given the way England play?
Yeah, I just think that, they're both very good players, of course. I think Watkins is the one for me at the moment. I've watched him very closely at Villa. His movement is good. He's getting some goals in the back of that as well. So with all said and done, Tony has come back into the fold and doing reasonable well. But I think if you got to be honest, I think I would say the boy Watkins is the one at the moment is probably just edging. So there's still a lot of games to play, and we'll see who finish even on a higher scale that they are on at the moment. But certainly Watkins is the one who seems to be edging at the minute. If you were to pick someone currently on form now, Watkins will be the one.
Sure. Now, just finally, Gareth Southgate is a potential Manchester United manager. There's been a lot of talk about that. How would that play with you?
Yeah, listen, I know the Gate very well. Played with him 4 years at Villa as my captain. Done extremely well, certainly in the position that he is. We all know the journey through to where he's got to. So there's always that little bit of question mark. The fact that he's done well at England, everyone says success. I suppose it is success. You get to a final, you get to a semi-final of the World Cup, you go to the final of the Euros, but he hasn't really won anything major. I think that's maybe one stumbling thing. And we all know club management and international management is totally two different sort of jobs. Whereas club manager, you day-to-day basis, you're dealing with all sorts of players week in, week out, 2 games per week, 3 sometimes, rotation system, keeping a squad, dealing with the media, which is good at, obviously, dealing with chairmen, if you look at his club record, it's not particularly great. So he's coming back. He's gained a lot of experience, I'm sure, coming back that he's not been in club football for a while. Yeah, I think I think there might be a little bit of question mark, but I could see why they want him to come to United for sure.
Well, Dwight, good to talk to you.
Thanks, Dwight.
Thanks very much for joining us.
Paul Hawksby and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons, 1 till 4. On AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.